When we discover the magic within ourselves, the miracle of life, of grace, then we naturally can see that magic all around us. I'd like to share with you some of the things that have happened in my life that helped me to come to this understanding. I was born and raised in the Chicago area. And I passed my teenage years in the 1960s. They were very turbulent times. Troubled and confused. I struggled so much with what appeared to be so much hypocrisy around me. I participated in the civil rights movement. I dove deeply into the counterculture. I was tear-gassed and chased by police with clubs during a Democratic convention in 1968. And these were the people I was told were protecting my freedom. I was there just because I had questions about the validity of a war in Vietnam, where my friends were being forced to fight and some killed. When I was 19 years old, I began a spiritual quest. I left home and came to London. From here, I hitchhiked without money through Europe, through the Middle East, and ultimately came to the Himalayas in India. While in the Himalayas, I was living in caves and jungles and was meeting often with yogis. Some of them demonstrated supernatural powers, which really mesmerized me. But then something happened. I was sitting in the forest under a gigantic banyan tree, and I found under my foot a tiny seed. I held it up before the tree and was thinking, within this little seed is an enormous banyan tree. I looked in the sky and saw a cloud, and I reflected that during the monsoon rains, one single cloud contains enough water to inundate and flood an entire city, and yet that cloud seems to be weightlessly floating in the sky. I looked at the birds that were flying and the insects that were running up trees. And then I looked at my own body and thought, a mother and a father come together, a little excretion with the seed goes from the father to a mother, and it develops into a human being with the potential to develop science, technology, to create and build empires and civilizations. My realization at that moment was, compared to the extraordinary magic that we're seeing every moment all around us, the supernatural powers of these yogis were insignificant. A few years ago, I was walking with a friend in the Muir Woods, which is just close to San Francisco. It's a redwood forest. We came upon a park ranger, and he was explaining to some tourists the secret of the forest. He told that the sequoia and redwood trees are the largest trees on the planet. Some of them are hundreds or even thousands of years old. But interestingly, their roots do not grow deep. And then he told that these trees have been standing for centuries and centuries, enduring massive windstorms, frigid blizzards, devastating earthquakes, and without deep roots, how did they keep standing? Then the ranger paused so that we could ponder this mystery. And then he went on to reveal to us the underground secret of the redwood forest. And being from the 60s, I like underground things, so I was very attentive. He said that the roots under the ground, they reach outward, seeking the roots of other redwood trees. And when they meet, they intertwine, making a permanent bond with each other. In this way, all the redwood trees in the entire forest are either directly or indirectly giving support to each other. Unity is their strength. They reach out to care for each other. And even the little newborn baby redwoods, its little tiny roots, are given shelter by the ancient giants. In the Muir Woods, nature is giving humanity a very crucial lesson, that our real strength is in our willingness to care for and support each other. We are caretakers of divine property. Wisdom is to understand this simple universal principle that in giving we receive. By getting things, we make a living. By giving, we make a life. The spiritual evolution of a society can be understood when people love people and use things. But all too often, in today's world, it's just the opposite. People use people. And they love things. I discovered something that really transformed my life. A simple, ageless truth. That all of our desires, with their longings, gratifications, and frustrations, stem from a single origin. Forgetfulness of a love that is inherent within our own hearts. And in that love, there is true fulfillment. In 1971, I learned this lesson from a very unlikely but unforgettable teacher.